Here we are, the panel for the Hollywoodbets Scottsville Sprint Race Day, and it is going to be an exciting one, always is. And I think also just typically we'll go into more detail, but Sean Terry typically really preps his horses well for this day, so keep an eye on his horses, but it's not going to be that clear cut this year. I think there are some races that are going to be a little bit more competitive, but before we get into the details, two important things I need to tell you. First of all, please click like, subscribe. You'll get all the updates and notifications, and you'll be on the forefront of all the information and all the panels, etc., that come out of the studio in the Western Cape. With me today, this is the second thing, is MJ Bredeveld. MJ, welcome.
Thanks, Vicky. It's lovely to be here and nice to discuss this interesting race day and card.
It is indeed. And Alistair Cohen, thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, thank you, Vicky. Lovely to be here. It's a lovely race day. Hollywoodbets Scottsville, an institution with the 4 speed sprints, formerly of 4 grade 1s, now 3 grade 1s and a grade 2, but I don't think it's lost any of its class as a result now that the Golden Horse Sprint is a handicap. Give Me a Prince of 66 was never going to run, but I think bar him and maybe Dice, who haven't been seen for a while, I think it's a fantastic card. It always is. And we were reminiscing just before we came to air, the great horses that have won here and the great horses that have been beaten. Sure. Hollywoodbets Scottsville. There's often a spanner in the works somewhere.
Well, take us through some of them, just so we can have this moment before we move on to the 2025 renewal.
Well, I think of recent years, Sean Terry, as you mentioned, is the natural starting point. I think he's on 20 grade 1 winners at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. And that wall that you were so desperate to get on, where were you, 9?
Oh, when I see it now, I want to break it down.
We'll all be there on Saturday, so looking forward to it. Empress Club got beaten at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. JJ the Jet Plane and Shay won before they went overseas. It's a phenomenal race day. There's always a story to be told. You'll walk off the track at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Saturday, and there'll be a story. Hopefully we're on the right side of the stories this year.
Yes, well, let's hope so. We've got a number of races to get through. It's 10 races on the card, so it's going to be a nice busy day. And also, I think a lot of the minor races, the draws are interesting because some of the horses with the form are drawn a little bit wide. But let's jump into it without further ado. Race 1 is the Chimchiri Run Maiden Juvenile Plate over the 1100 metres. Quite an inexperienced field of horses. Alistair, I'll start with you. Just about any of the first timers, if there's anything that we need to highlight.
2, I think, here. Number 2, Master Silvano, son of Master of My Fate. Serena Moodley takes her out for Stuart Ferry. Probably going to be looking for a little bit further being out of a Silvano mare, but I do like how he's bred. Stuart's comments at the front of the card showing nice work, if not too green, will be competitive, which is good news. And then further down the page, Trevor Brown's got him Fetu for Hollywood Racing, number 7. Smart sort, but will need his first start. The mother Fiorella was a high-quality filly trained by Duncan Howells. I think she definitely won a feature, but if I'm not mistaken, she won on debut Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I tend to remember Keegan DeMello winning on her for Dave McLean. So number 7, Fetu, could be very interesting first up, but there are obviously a couple of race runners here that hold a very strong key.
MJ, would you say that number 8, World of Royalty, number 9, Let's Go Lola, would be the standouts on form?
Yeah, purely on form, Vicky. I thought World of Royalty ran a fantastic race. And yeah, Let's Go Lola also, it's exposed form that we can talk about as for us really to stand. I just thought Duncan Howell's got a filly in your the Scarlet Cat with claim 4 on. It's related to Electric Fields, who's quite speedy. So I think Duncan is up to something here. She's got no weight on her back, and we've seen what the fillies have done against the Colts. It's obviously inexperienced, or don't know, maybe she'd been there to gallop, but I'd watch the betting on the Scarlet Cat.
And claim 4 always ultra competitive. So you're happy
sure.
with that, Alistair, for race 1?
Yeah, no doubt the 2 race runners are the 2. I know MJ is a huge fan of JC Boots, as we've watched him from afar. You'd love to take him under your wing. I was at Hollywoodbets Greyville when World of Royalty made his debut. Lovely son of One World. Spoke to Nathan Cotson before the race, said if he's not too green, he'll go very well. That's exactly what happened. And then Let's Go Lola. By the time this recording goes to air, we'll know how the second horse did at the Val on Thursday, Anchorage. So just watch out with number 9, Let's Go Lola. Both of those, only 2 race runners that can feature, but I had 2 first timers, now I have 3.
Well, there you go. Making it interesting, Alistair, as always. Race 2 is the Warriors Rest Maiden Plate for the fillies and mares. That's the 2022 winner. This is a race over 1,600 metres, and a tricky one for me because I mentioned in the beginning that horses are drawn a little bit wide that have the chances, and in this race particularly, we've got also some Cape campaigners that are taking on this field, and they're drawn a little bit wide. I'm going to mention them. Number 12, Alex Miller, Andrew Fortune aboard, blinkers back on, and we also have another Dream drawn 13 with Chad Little aboard for Lucinda Woodruff. So isn't quite stopped there, but MJ, I'll start with you. Do you think that those would be strong competitors here and be able to take on the KZN horses?
Yeah, Vicky, I think another dream, unfortunate draw, but just looking at the quality of the field, the form lines, Kleinzie, Rahaba, those form lines have been franked quite nicely, and she gets a bit of luck in running. I thought she should be one that take a bit of beating. Really think she'll be very competitive. Alex Miller, my reservation, she's had quite a few chances. She didn't have the best of luck last time when she ran at Hollywoodbets Greyville, but I do think that another dream would be quite tricky to beat. There's obviously been number 2 Fine Wine, older horse that improved quite a lot from first run to second run, so you've got to respect that, and drawn well.
And stepping up in trip, which
yes,
also helps.
So, but yeah, I'm going to go back and be quite confident on that another dream will take a bit of beating.
And we can also remind you now that another dream on debut ran second behind Mon Petit Cherie, so that also has a huge bit of encouragement towards her. Alistair, do you think it's that clear cut?
So I've tipped a bar pot, and I've got a lot of horses, but I'm on exactly the same page as MJ. If number 13, Another Dream, has any luck in running from that draw, she'll be very hard to beat. Lucinda Woodruff been among the winners coast to coast over the last couple of weeks, with another one with Victor Hugo finally getting out the maidens on Wednesday. The last run saw Kleinzie come out and win. We Have a Situation come out and win. Beneath the Clouds ran second and then won. Tuscan Romance, well beaten by Another Dream, came out and ran second. Stu's Girl, another one well beaten by Another Dream, has come out and won. We've got Beira, who's beaten out of Sato, who's improved from there. If she doesn't need the run, very hard to beat. 12 Alex Miller, interesting with blinkers on for the first time, because if you ever wanted to know a train smash last time, it was Alex Miller last time. She had absolutely no luck. She came out slowly, she pulled, she did everything wrong. She returned with a scalp wound. She will run better.
And well supported in the market on that occasion.
Absolutely, she will run better, but hesitant about her just because she's obviously got a couple of quirks. And then I've got 4 other horses in the bar pot, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 6 runners to kick off in the first leg of the bar pot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 and 13. By 5, 6 and 10. By 8 and 9, race 4, which is leg 3. By 5, 9 and 10. By 1 and 3. And then onto the final leg, leg 6, which is race 7. 4, 5, 8 and 10. I don't find it easy at all.
Well, there you go. There's an indication for you. Rather just go a little bit wider in the beginning, and hopefully that'll carry you through. Race 3, it is Battle Force, who won in 2021. Class 4 for the fillies and mares over the 1600 metres. And once again, we've got an interesting mix here. Alistair, I'll start off with you. What is your take on the field?
Hardest race on the card. When I say hardest, I know that I've only got 3 horses in the bar pot, but it's one of those races where you probably need to sit back and watch the market. Difficult to put a pen through any of these, and sadly for the wrong reasons rather than the right, because it's just a very shallow Class 4 fillies and mares race. 5-1 Smart Cookie, Richard Fourie takes her out for Tini Prinsloo, seeking a hat-trick of wins. Only got a £2 penalty for her last win when she beat Magical View. From that form, winners include Wazanawa and Ubukwe Bazana, so that's got to stand for something. She'll be the horse that I'd gravitate towards. Streisand was a fluent winner last time, probably won easy in the margin suggested. That's number 6 on the card. She could very easily back it up. And I've got number 10, Phasar, in as well. Samango Kamala takes her out for Gareth Van Zyl. On an indirect line of form through Wazanawa, I'd anticipate that 1 Smart Cookie will have her number, but I think Phasar probably got a little bit in the tank to at least go quite close.
Look, I know a filly who won last time. It took quite a while to win, and MJ, I'll go to you for her. It's number 8, Greenlight Sky. It was the first run with blinkers on. She has been the trip. She won quite convincingly, but I just thought that some of her Cape Town form was strong enough, and all she did was win in KZN.
Vicky, very strong. I like Greenlight Sky quite strongly. I know it's, as Alistair says, a very open field, but her form lines are very strong. Strawberry Thief has come out and won.
Impressively too. You know,
yes.
She snuck up on that rail and ran on strongly, which is good.
Double Dash, form to Double Dash, Tuscan Romance. Roman's been the English Mistress, has come out and won. Unga Tonga has come out and won. So I really think that her form line is quite deep. So for me, Greenlight Sky, I thought was a win bet for me in this race. It's tricky, but I think you might get a bit of value with her. Yeah, and a little bit outside of number 4, Greenhouse, Mr. Cox filly. She's slowly dropped in her rating, and I think she could be in the. I've actually, for the PA, I've got those 2, 4 and 8 for the PA.
I must be quite mentioning Mark and Matt de Kock. For me, it's absolutely great to see a brand that you would have known MJ when you started riding, such a strong brand, unbelievable horses. It almost is reinvigorated with Matt and Moni coming back to South Africa. It's excellent.
That's fantastic. It's made like I mean, us starting used to want to just ride from Strocock. He was trying to get rides, and it was like the cock show at the time. And then went a little bit quiet, but you can see they're on a mission. They're on a mission, and they're doing great. And yeah, it's fantastic to see.
And what I'll mention is that when all the apprentices typically start at the South African Jockey Academy in KZN, you go to track and you look at all these horses, it's like, there's just a sea of horses, and you saw his horses and they stood out.
Yep.
You worked them, they just felt superior. So, but obviously that was ages ago. Sorry, MJ.
He's mellowed a little bit now, has Mike, and also Matthew's just lit that fire again. I can actually have number 4 Greenhouse, but yeah,
Place chance.
More than a place chance. But no, it's great to have the De Koks in full force, and believe me, they are in full force.
And also the other thing we must never forget Diane de Kock. She's a strong
background.
Strong involvement, correct.
Yeah, she's the queen of the babies. Those yearlings
correct.
come and they've got manners the day they walk into the ring.
Yep, absolutely. Let's move on. We could have this conversation all day, to be fair. Race 4 is Alleion Chief 2022, and it is a Class 4 over the 1600 meters. And I suspect we have the same situation here, where horses are drawn a little bit wide, and as such have to do, or hopefully get a little bit of luck in running. MJ, your opinion of the field?
Yeah, also another race where it's rather open. I thought a horse that's come from the Cape, it's Lexicon Point. He's dropped in the rating also quite a bit, and he just hasn't run too badly. He needs to improve a little, but I just feel he's a horse that can be competitive. Terminator is very much in form. The Hollywood horse won really well, number 8 in Kwele last time. He ran a fantastic race, so he's a horse that got to be competitive. One of Alistair's favourite is Gurkha.
It's not Gurkha, it's Gurkha.
Yeah, get Alistair to commentate. So yeah, it's this is for me a bit of a tricky race. Justin's maiden winner, Grand Canaria, is also quite a nice horse. He's obviously stepping up, just won its maiden. But yeah, tricky horse. For the PA, I've gone just 3 horses here, 3, 5 and 7. I thought you could survive with that there.
I think, Alistair, your opinion? I mean, obviously Gurkha's a standout, MJ spot on. Grand Canaria, a bit of a draw to overcome. Third run after gelding, though, could be a bit of a peak run. And, from there obviously are a whole bunch more like Terminator with Serena Moodley. He's having a bit of a run at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's riding at the top of his game, Serena. Winners left, right and centre. So MJ and I are common with only one horse from your place accumulator and mine. That's number 7, Terminator. I find it very, very tricky. And this, for parallax reasons to race 3, is tricky for the right reasons. There's just a lot of exciting form to work with and potentially horses who are ready to win. I want to start with Nkwele, number 8 on the card. The way he won last time was super impressive. He dotted up. He was never in doubt. He won like a horse who's going to continue to win. Got an £8 penalty, probably justified. If he stays above the curve, he'll be hard to beat. But it doesn't stop there. I've vowed to myself after being at Turfentine on the 26th of April that the next time Open Highway runs, I'm going to have a bet. And he's found a Nkwele here. But he's got Gavin Larena on board. He was, please be with us, this is never dangerous in the comments. He was so unlucky. Last time was number 9 Open Highway. He's just got to reach a mile. He's been the distance once before. He ran 3rd over the trip. He's probably a step better over a sprint. But he's going to be a big player with number 9 Open Highway. I've got number 1 Impact Investor. Robin Klaassen tried him over a mile last time. Worked to charm. Again, we'll know more about the form line by the time this goes to air, because the Ultimate King runs at the Vaal on Thursday. But yeah, there are heaps of others. I've also got 9 and 14 in the play as well. Rather 14 and just number 4. We've spoken about Terminator. 14 Grand Canaria. Second horse Pioneer Square won by 8 a week earlier. Third horse White Seahorse has come out and won a run 3rd in a very similar race to this. If he has luck from the draw, he'll go well. And Justin Snaith is also on record to me, and I'll let you in a secret, that whatever he does from his first start in Durban, he'll do even better in a second start from Durban. But the draw is a worry.
Well, that was, I think, just to sort of back that up, is after one of the first meetings in KZN, I asked Justin how it's going, and he said, Vicky, because of the rain, when the horses initially landed, they couldn't do a lot of work, so they went in really underdone, and as such will improve. And Justin typically keeps his horses very fit. Obviously in the Cape they work in heavier sand, it's lighter track, so it does take a little bit of adjustment and conditioning. MJ, I'll ask you a question about the distance. Alice has mentioned the fact that Open Highway not necessarily suited to the mile. What kind of track, or how does Hollywoodbets Scottsville run over a mile? Is it a bit like Hollywoodbets Durbanville? Is it a bit faster?
Yeah, it's a bit of, I quite like a mile there. It's quite fair. You got a bit of time to get to the corner. Once you, it's about 300-400 meters before you get to the corner. So it's pretty fair. I wouldn't say fast. It depends on the time of the year. It depends on the race. This race looks like it could be a bit of speed on it. Be a pretty bigger fields normally produce a bit fairer races because obviously there's people try and commit from the outside and get position, stretch them a little bit. So a pretty fair run mile normally. Shouldn't have any issues. It's just obviously, as I say, time of the year the track would be a bit firmer this time of the year. It's just winter. Obviously they've had a lot of rain in KZN, but it does dry up quite quickly once the winter comes in.
And especially that course, because I think it's got a little bit of clay in its base, which makes it a little bit, it goes harder, faster, and also
Quicker,
slippery
yeah.
when it's wetter.
Surface-wise, probably very similar to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, I think.
Well, there you go. Race 5, here it is, the first of the Grade 1s, the Allen Robinson Championship, Grade 1 over the 1,200 meters, and unbelievable. We've got some really, really competitive fillies here, and I think just a smashing field of horses. The horse I'm going to start with, purely because I'm so impressed by her, is number 10, Direct Hit. We can obviously go into more detail with a whole bunch of the others, but this filly is lightning quick. She came here, and I think all of us, you try and protect your home ground. You're like, oh, Cape Town horses are always classy, and that's a debate that's always a little bit tongue-in-cheek with everyone. But my gosh, we all just stood still and looked at her. She was unbelievable, and I think, put it that way, this is a great race for her, Alistair. The fact that she's going to take on horses from, around the country, but an excellent move by Allen.
Well, Alan Chief called me before the splash at Cape of Good Hope Nursery and said, I've got fillies that I need a split. I've got the most incredible crop of fillies. Alan's got an unbelievable string, and she's got a stride from here to China. She's got an unbelievable action, this daughter of Canfield Cliffs. We also in debut at Fairview, where you can say, well, what do you beat? But then to come and do the talking at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth like that so quickly, that's another beast that she took on. She's been punted. Betting's open for this race at the time of recording. Direct Hit from 16 to 10 to 13 to 10, which is allowed number 5, One Fine Winter, to drift from 16 to 10 to 18 to 10. And nibble about number 7, Elegantrix. She's at 8 to 1 from a call of 10 to 1, and 12's upwards the others. It won't be easy for Direct Hit because we know that champions have been beaten in Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I don't want to sort of put her in that category that she's beatable, but there got to be some sort of disclaimers because of that incline that you take at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. Is nothing like she would have seen before. If she can adapt to that, then she's a freak. She's a machine, but it won't be all that straightforward. I've got quite a few horses that I like here. 4 Comic Relief, whispers out. 5 One Fine Winter's done nothing wrong. Craig Saki takes a ride. She couldn't possibly miss last time, but she won with ease. And then a few others that I got in. 7 Elegantrix, been to the track as well. That's got to count for something. And 1 the Godolphin Bob against boys. And I think Duncan Howell's horse, number 9 Hierarchy, is well above average. I like her. If she doesn't win, she's still a horse I'm going to keep my eye on.
And she also, Hierarchy, she'll get a little bit further. A Daughter's Legacy was a classic type trip filly, if I'm not mistaken.
She was
She won the Winter
Oaks, I want to say.
Oaks,
yeah.
For Rian.
Yes,
For
Rian
Eden.
van Reenen trained her.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll just get back to you about Direct Hit. I think Hollywoodbets Scottsville is always needs a profile for that track, and I think Direct Hit might, as you say, she might maybe struggle. Who knows? You guessing, you say something might happen or whatever. Anyway,
well,
it's not going to happen. It's just a certain horses you need a profile. I think she's got the profile for that track. She's quick.
Okay.
She'll just be there. She hasn't got too many issues. She's straightforward. Crack and go.
So let me ask you this question. Is it an advantage to have a lot of pace and use that to the advantage, or would you want to be handy and run on at the end? Get a little bit of a sort of pull through up the hill.
You need something just to pull you through up the hill, Vicky. If they off the bit coming into the dip, most of the times I think you're in trouble. Because when you're off the bit, and that happens at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, once you hit the dip off the bit, you're done. I don't think Direct Hit, when they're that good, what she looks like, she should be on the bit and quicken. I'm not going on that the other fillies aren't good, but just what we've seen.
So I think the gist of what we're all saying is that Direct Hit's super impressive. She's unbelievable, but play a little bit cautiously because you don't want to get caught out.
There'll be some good fillies.
She's not going to run a good second or third. She's either going to win and blow them away, or she's not going to enjoy it and be downfield.
Yeah, I think Elegantrix, number 7, I really like her. I thought she was so impressive last time. And she gave good gumption in the end too. But there you go. You can't ignore the Terry factor. You've touched on One Fine Winter.
let's see if she's got the game for the track. She hasn't been there either.
But she won well last time.
She won very, very well. But Alleion Chief's got a bit of a line here. Golden Palm put one fun Windsor in a box at Turfentine in the South African nursery. So very, very interesting. Do either of them have the game for Hollywoodbets Scottsville? That's the big question. But then again, Mrs. Geriatrics would have rocked up there as a 2-year-old who would have said absolutely no hope. And they're pretty similar in their profile.
What's the play in race 5?
So MJ has done a jackpot, yeah? Banker direct hit, eh?
Yeah, I think she's good enough. I'm going to take a chance.
Confidence, excellent. Very good. Thank you, MJ, for that jackpot. There you go, race 6. It is the gold medallion grade 1, the second grade 1 on the card. It's over the 1,200 meters, and it's another goodie, thank goodness. Talking about goodies, number 2, Good For You, I thought was impressive last time and so green. I remember saying to Chad when he came back to the Cape, I was like, Chad, this horse didn't even know where he was going. And he's like, Vicky, absolutely. He did a good job, but he saw that grandstand and he just ran in. But MJ, you said that's often a case on point with horses there. They get a little bit green, they see the grandstand on the left and they can shy away from it.
I think for me it's probably the wall that you run into at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. People might not know, but you're coming down the straight and there's a wall eventually at the end that follows the back of the saddling boxes. And when you stand there, you look at it and it's a wall. And I think it's the stand and the wall. A lot of the other race courses you're running through and you can actually see a rail and then there's through. So I think that's what finds out a lot of horses at Hollywoodbets
And also
Scottsville.
the grandstand curves, remember?
Yeah.
Almost the end of the grandstand's almost over the track.
So that's why people think, it's maybe the bias of the course, but I don't think it is. Horses actually run away from it. So, but yeah, get back to the horse. Good For You. It was very impressive at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Fantastic last start. He ran a cracker. And yeah, interesting field. One filly in the race that won really impressively, Green Diamond. And we've seen what the fillies have done against the Colts. And yeah, I think she'll go very, very well.
We also have the Cape Racing Sales slipper winner in here, number 7, Military Command, who was just so impressive and had one run since. Would have needed it?
Yeah, probably needed it. I think it didn't look like he really was comfortable that day when he ran, so probably benefit from having that run there, but a very impressive winner when he won and beating Dreamworld. You see what Dreamworld's come out and done. So, a lovely horse, and yeah, he'll also be very competitive.
He would indeed. And talking about people that are having a run at the moment, Alistair, Peter Muscat too, he's every night he's in the winner's box.
He's, I think, trading at close to the highest win rate in the country.
He
Second
has.
highest.
No, I think he's now become the highest.
No, he's having an unbelievable season. He's lost a few horses as well, which is he'll pick up again. No doubts about that. I think he's probably on about 30 horses, which is unthinkable. But I think they all got Terry's filly to beat you, number 3, Green Diamond. She's everything that the stable companion a race earlier is not, in the form of One Fun Winter. She's got a bit of size, a bit of substance, and I think that she won't have any issues at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. She's already beaten the boys. She won the nursery at Turfentine on the 29th of March, beating Esteemed, who I know is Holden. High Esteem, excuse the pun. She got a lot going for her. The stakes allowance going to help her, 58.5. Very, very hard horse to beat. But I've got a horse, Zalatoris, number 1 on the card. He's, I think, just a little bit caught out last time. Got bunched towards the outside rail. He dropped in, made up a lot of ground. I think he'll turn it around with Charming Cheetah, who beat him. He's a good horse in his own right. And then going to Military Command. My opinion, sticky track, didn't enjoy it. Been on a sticky track twice. Once here and once at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. He's in the credit, number 7, Military Command. I think he'll run a big race, but all got number 3, Green Diamond to beat. For me, best bet on the card.
I'm glad that you mentioned the Cape Racing Sales graduate number 1, Zalatoris. I remember how impressed I was by his debut when it was very good. But yeah, great, Alistair. So that's the play.
That's the play. I've got an exacta 3 by the field. Zalatoris at a bit of a price. Hopefully he can get into second, or maybe even something at a bigger price.
Well, let's move on. There you go. This is the one that we're all looking forward to. It's race 7, the South African Filly Sprint Grade 1, and it's brought to you by The Witness. It's over the 1,200 meters. And this is excellent. I can't wait for this race. I'm very excited personally. I know that this is a stepping stone for both of them, and I know it doesn't really stop here. But if you look at number 1, Double Grand Slam, number 5, Reskova, they've always sort of found each other, and it's similar. You get these good horses that they bump each other. It becomes controversial. MJ, what is your opinion?
Yeah, well, now it's a distance short of their best. So.
Which makes it fun.
Well, exactly. I still think they might have to pick up their legs and beat Asia Pambile, but it'll be a fantastic race. I mean, Double Grand Slam's great. Justin is always vocal about her, and he was always like cheeky about how she's going to do.
Well, you mentioned how grumpy she got when she got beat. She was so angry, and then she came out and won, and then she was happier.
I think it was Justin. He's blaming her. I think it was Justin. It was just Justin having a moment. But yeah, Raskova, I mean, she's also great. She's obviously changed stables now, but she's got enough speed, I think, to be competitive, and that makes her definitely one that can be in the play, definitely.
But okay, I won't direct you into that. Your opinion of the field?
Yeah, a great field. First look at it, I think Assia Pambile, for me, she's got the profile of the 1200 meters, suits her to the T. Those other fillies are great. It is a bit short to the best. They will obviously enjoy Hollywoodbets Scottsville. Then even Candace Bass's filly, I thought, ran a fair race last time. Symphony and White, if she can reproduce that at the weight, she's a bit better off than My Sensation. I think she could be a bit of a one that's outsider for the quartet type of thing. I say outsider, but she's on the up again. She went off a little bit. She beat Cowboy, and then the last start was a fantastic run. I think she can be competitive. But my first selection, I would go for Assia Pambile. I think just all the profile, as I said, goes to her, and then those other two fillies will be fantastic to see them.
This is good racing, to be honest.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I'm also just going to remind both gentlemen on my left that one of my horses to follow was Assia Pambile, just by the way. Alistair, do you think?
Bit of a brag.
Well, why not? We are now here. It's before the race too. Makes it easier.
I'll tell you what's shaping up to be one of the races of the season. There are a few, but the Garden Province on Hollywoodbets Durban Gelado, where Double Grand Slam and Raskova are likely to run, plus a few others. Will Spumante Dolce go there? Obviously got Fatal Flaw, who we haven't seen for a while. She's won a Grade 1 in Cape Town, a Grade 1 in Joburg. Mon Petit Cherie, she's also likely to line up. The Garden Province are going to be... Bring it on now. Let's go now. Let's get these horses. Let's give them their prep runs. But also, you run into the danger of a top horse over a sprint in a prep run. If they're good enough, they're good enough. I mean, these are Grade 1.
We've seen that before.
Correct. High quality fillies, Double Grand Slam and Raskova. Personally, in a sprint, I think Raskova's got more the game.
Well, we also,
Slam.
To be fair, we questioned whether she'd get the trip, which obviously that was all sort of put to bed, but that was the question at one point. So she does have that. She's quite aggressive early, but in saying that, now different yard, to be honest, different things, different.
She did have a well documented setback. She was targeting the Empress Club at Turfentine a couple of months ago. 2 months ago? No, less. Anyway, doesn't matter. The date's all academic.
She was going to have a prep run.
That wasn't a prep run. She was going to go straight into a Grade 1, and that was the main idea. And then obviously, just a high temperature set her back, much the same as Princess Keller when she got up to Sean's yard as well. And then obviously from there, Princess Keller swept all before her and went on to win Horse of the Year from there. So not ideal, but she's been given the time obviously to recover. And like I said, I think when it comes to sprinting, Raskova, that aggression that she's got, probably going to serve her a little bit better in her unbelievable rivalry with Double Grand Slam. They've met each other so many times, and Double Grand Slam just tends to have her number in a lot of the races, but when it really matters, Raskova tends to do it. I'm in the same camp as MJ. I think the key horse here is Assia Pambile, number 10 on the card. She's had the run under the belt. Of all the horses that were around her in the Dennis Dry Poinsettia, she's got them absolutely cold. She ran in this race last year. She was a massive chance. She dropped Rachel Veneke at the start, sadly. She ought to have gone very, very close. So Assia Pambile, the key horse in the race, and then from my side, just be like a Candice Dawson's runner. She'll run a very good race. Her win last time of top weight, giving weight away to Fastnet Filly, who ran a place at Hollywoodbets Scottsville of no weight the time before. She's doing very nicely at home, and she'll give a very good account of herself. Number 4, just be like her.
There you go. So that's the play for race 7. Moving on to race 8, it is the Golden Horse Sprint, the Grade 2 over the 1200 metres. A sizable field, including some reserve runners, but we've got, it's actually a great representation countrywide, to be completely honest. This was the race where we got Fairy Night. We also have horses like Sergey, who unbelievable, Truth, who comes into it. We've got a Cape Turf Club Syndicate runner, number 4, Future Variety for the Centenary Syndicate. So it doesn't quite even stop there. I'm just sort of going through some of the notes and facts. But MJ, I'll start with you and Fairy Night. Another interesting runner.
Yeah, definitely Fairy Night. I mean, done nothing wrong. Hard to judge really how good he is, and it'll be very interesting to see him take part. Very open field, I thought. Very competitive. A horse that is probably one of the best horses in the race is Ziasha. Don't know if only thing is like you worry a little bit about the 1200 because he seems to be 1100 is sort of his max, but he's he's very, very good. Clinton's done a great job with that horse, and he's made him proud. He really, I mean, you can see when he wins that really like sort of brings a bit of joy out of Clinton.
Well, I loved the fact that he won his last start. It was so great to see because he had a very challenging Cape campaign. He was here and things just weren't mapping out for him. And I think, you know, Clinton was getting frustrated because you've got this horse, you've got this plan, and it's just, you know, things aren't falling into place, and it is a delicate balance to prep them for big races. So to come out at Hollywoodbets Greyville and just win like you know he should, I think must have, as you say, brought Clinton and Hollywood Racing a lot of joy.
He's run to the best. You just obviously the 1200 is a little bit of a question mark, but then also you go and look at Tenango. I mean, he's also
he's a revelation.
He's come well. He really has done well and be competitive. Sergey, he ran to Give Me a Prince, reproduce that type of run. Those are the best sprinters in the country. So very competitive race, very open and not easy.
No, Alistair, your opinion of the race?
Not easy at all. This is all over the place. We'll get to my suggested bet for the race in just a moment. I want to start with Truth. This has always been the plan for him. Muzieni takes a ride. A good run. At the time was a little bit disappointing getting beaten by Musical Score last time out, but the fact that he gave a lot of weight away, Musical Scores now holds an entry for the Hollywoodbets Durban in July. He's had a good prep. He gave weight away in the Senor Sante. He got bumped at the start, and if he's allowed to stride freely up in front, number 8, Truth, will give a very good account of himself. He's a high-quality horse. Always thought that he's got more than just a grade 3 in him. He's already ticked the grade 3 box. Hopefully he can take the next step forward. 15 Sergey ran a place in this race 2 years ago, and then he got his just reward in a grade 1 by winning the Mercury just under a year ago. Louis Otwa takes a ride 4. This will be the last day of Brett and James Crawford, by the way.
That is true.
With James Crawford alone
from Sunday.
From Sunday, 1st of June. Heavyweights drawn on what has evidently been the not ideal side of Hollywoodbets Scottsville, so all those are against him. But MJ's spot on. He's got form to the best sprinter in the country in the form of Gimme a Prince. If Gimme a Prince was in this race, not under handicap terms, because obviously the Cape Flying is not a handicap, Gimme a Prince would be deep in the red, would be very, very hard to beat. So number 15, Sergey, got to be a big chance. But
Can I just say something about Sergey? Sorry to interrupt you, but Sergey often has it against him. He often carries a heavy weight. Like, that's not uncommon for him. So he could challenge just based on the fact that, again, he always takes it on, you know, these type of horses like that.
He's a true overachiever, Sergey. Absolute overachiever. But my complete lunatic quartet horse, don't know if he can win, but I think number 14, Mount Pilatus, can run into the top 4. Fani Bronkhorst trains, Calvin Habib takes the ride, got a £1 penalty for being well beaten by Chasing Happiness last time. But I think he might be that. When you look at the history of this race, the Let's Rock and Rolls, there are a few others, the names of these races, Alleion Chief, Warriors Rest, a few others, Talk to the Stars. They don't strike you as the best sprinters in town, but they just love the track, right place, right time, right weight. This could be the lurker in the pack, number 14, Mount Pilatus. Then even the PE, the 5, Outlaw King, Whisper out for him, by the way. Whisper out for 5, Outlaw King, and even the horse who ran 4th in the computer form sprints and ran a place in this race last year, where to Sean Veal's own admission, he didn't ride a very good race. Number 10, Cruise Control, all horses that go into the mix. Complex race.
Ali, what about Otanikwa, the 3-year-old?
Chance, can't write him off. Good hard-fought win last time, very lightweight. He also fits the bill. Very, very tricky race. You want to have as many horses as you can in the exotics in this race.
What's the play?
I've double floated in the quartet 8 and 15 by the field, because you are going to get horses at any price getting into the top 4.
There you go. It's going to be a brilliant contest. And as Alistair said, play cautiously. And MJ also bringing a whole bunch of horses into the race. So it just shows you how wide open it really is. Race 9 is Gimme a Prince 2023 winner. It's the middle stakes over the 1,200 metres. And again, we've got a lovely mix of horses here that will all take each other on. And some horses that we might recognise from being in the Cape, but quite a sort of upcountry heavy race. Not that it's a bad thing at all. MJ, your opinion?
Yeah, Vicky, exposed, and I thought Riverstone, I know he's got his problems and he's had some issues in that, but if he comes to his right form, runs like 3 lengths to Tenango, 3 lengths to Cowboy, 2.5 lengths to Gem King, it brings some of the previous races form to this race. Yeah. And he's got 55.5 in his back. If Gareth has got him right, he's got to have a big runner. A horse like Unbeldi, I thought these two horses, if you take boxed exactas, they could be quite a decent bet, because he also comes in with Jemkin's form line, Golden Destiny and Tenango's form lines. They're very strong. And then also Hollywood's that Isivavani. He won 2 very good sprints. His last start they tried him in the Guineas and he didn't get beat far, but he's also a horse that, back to the sprints, he's obviously got a bit of a punishment for running 6th in the Guineas. It's not ideal, he's carrying a bit of weight. But
Yeah, 7-point penalty.
Yeah, he looks like quite a decent horse. So for me, those two horses, Riverstone, Undalby, and then Miss Argonaut is a filly. She hasn't run for a very long time, but it's very hard to judge her. It's where to place her. She hasn't got a lot of weight on her back. You see what it's exposed what the fillies have done against the Colts. We cannot forget about that, and hopefully we can see more fillies run against the Colts because it's worked. And Miss Argonaut is a bit of a question mark for me. I don't know where she is.
Did you just become infested by Justin Vermaak for a few seconds there?
The stats don't lie. It's there.
There you go.
Ellie, go study and
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
I'm just pointing it out that you can't leave these fillies out. They run, they take the boys on. And well.
Indeed they do. I quite like Isivavani, to be honest. Just a little bit of a draw to overcome. But Hollywood Racing, Sean Veal, good combination. They can carry all sorts of things off.
Going to the draw factor, by now you'll know if the outside draw's dead.
Yeah.
So if it's playing in favour of fairness, then 15 Isivavani is a huge runner. But the horse they need to beat, I agree with MJ, number 5, Unbaldi, represents Tenango form. Tenango's running in a grade 2 earlier. Shouldn't either run too badly. Has Gavin on board, consistent. I think coming into his own as well. Half Sister runs in a grade 1 earlier on in the card. Horse to beat, no doubt, number 5, Unbaldi. But interesting factors, Bourbon Warrior got blinkers on for the first time. Very nice horse. Guy Gibson, I like. I've got a lot of time for him. But in a sprint, I don't know if I have as much time for him. So it'll be very interesting to see how he goes. If it was a 1400, I'd be quite confident. License to Thrill, down in class, got to be a chance. Silver Tudor, I think, is a lurker. But Unbaldi, horse to beat. And if the going plays to the outside, 15 Isivavani, not a horse I want to let run loose. Big chance.
What about Vion's Web? Sorry, Vicky.
No, I was going to ask you what the play here was, to be honest.
Pambile. Not a bad run. Second to him. Lamba Pambile is quite a speedy short.
More to do. Third one after a break. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. 1 at 100 to 1 last time. You have that in your Hollywood Punters Challenge?
I wouldn't be sitting here.
What's the play in race 9, MJ?
I'm going to go box exact Riverstone number 4 and Unbaldi.
There you go. That's play for race 9. Race 10 is the Lucky Lad 2024 Class 5 over the 1200 metres. Unbelievable. I remember Lucky Lad bobbing and weaving all the way through. It was quite something. But there you go. That's the last on the card. And Alistair, I'll start off with you for the last.
It's double Olympic, my starting point. Bling takes her out for Yogas Govender. You'll remember double Olympic. He made his debut here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth in the mud. It was absolute soot that day. And it took him such a long time to win. It took him, nearly 2 years to win again. But then he beat Prize Platinum, followed up with a good run behind Now I Got You, who he meets again. Now I Got You's got apprentice Deson Lowe. We'll be having a second ever ride. Obviously, the apprentices get on well with Now I Got You because Brevin Plankies has brought him to victory a couple of times. Sadly, Brevin will be watching from afar. He'll be in Cape Town watching this meeting. So it'll be interesting to see how Deson goes on number 7, Now I Got You. I think number 8, Double Olympic, got enough in his favour. It's not a race that you want to get too excited about, but I think that he's the right one in the final race.
There you go. MJ, any horses to add?
What about Purple Powers?
Chance. Savannah Valjalo takes the ride, yeah.
Yeah, she's had 1 or 2 races. I think definitely got a chance. Yeah, I agree with Alistair. And then also has not been too far off his Cotton Run. He's always consistent. You can't exclude him. It's not a very easy race. This, I'd struggle a little bit. I think claim 4 on Purple Powers got to be effective. And the 2 that Ali spoke about are the horses that probably stand out.
It's really nice actually to see all these apprentices coming through and a whole bunch of them signing the papers and sort of coming into the racing system, which is exciting times for them.
Got to start somewhere. Pierre Stratham started somewhere.
Correct. Indeed. So there you go. Alistair, what's the play for the last?
The play is WinBet on number 8, Double Olympic. By now we'll know our fate. So it might be a fun win bet or it might be a desperate win bet.
There you go. That's the 10 races on the card. But before we close off, I just want to ask MJ, what are you looking forward to for the day?
I think the Fillies race. The Fillies race is going to be the most exciting. It's always nice to see the 2-year-olds come up, but I think Double Grand Slam and Raskova, whether they the 1200 affects them or not. It's just nice to see these good horses and play. And the big sprint. I mean, all these races, it's fantastic to see them all. And yeah, we'll have something to talk about, as Alistair says, on the way home from Hollywoodbets Scottsville.
We will indeed. Alistair, what are you looking forward to for the day?
I just think the entire jackpot. It's set up for a jackpot bonanza. 3 grade 1s and a grade 2. They all just brilliant races.
There you go. Look at us all looking forward to racing. So we hope to see you there. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, Alistair, for your time.
Thanks for having us, Vicky.
It's a pleasure. There you go. Looking forward to it and hope to see you all there. If not in person, please tune into your Hollywoodbets Scottsville race meeting on Gallup TV. Thank you very much once again for joining. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's very important, and you can get the information first. What more would you want? So thank you very much for joining us.
It begins with brilliance, where raw talent meets raw speed. A sprint for the fearless. The one they all want. 4 graded races, 1 unforgettable day, where every second counts, every stride matters, and champions are born in the blink of an eye. For South Africa's fastest, fiercest, and finest. This is Golden Horse Sprint Day. Be there.